When I was a teenager discovering new music, there were only a few ways to discover it, but there was one that was better than all the others: MTV. Now, you might not know what that stands for if you've watched it recently, but it stands for music television. And way back when, they used to actually play music videos on MTV. It was great. They played all kinds of stuff, and I'll tell you about it in a few minutes. But I'm going to also compare it to the way that people find music today. TikTok, scroll, scroll, scroll. We're going to look at how MTV compares to TikTok and YouTube and see which is better for finding music. So let's get into it. So there used to be this wonderful thing called music television. And you turn it on, and they play music video after music video after music video with no other crap. There were no pregnant teen moms, no Jersey Shore people getting hammered, acting stupid. None of that crap. It was just music video after music video after music video after music video. It was great. At the beginning and end of each video, there'd be a little thing that would say the name of the artist, the song, the album it's on, and the record labels. Maybe the year it came out too, sometimes. Um, but you just put it on and you just listened and watched, and that's how you found stuff that you liked. And they had different shows like Headbangers Ball for metal. They had Yo MTV Raps, which was hip hop and raps, stuff like that. And it was great. They had Alternative Nation, which was alternative rock and all kinds of weird stuff you'd find late at night. It was it was really cool. And then of course you also had the radio, FM radio, where you discover music, or by word of mouth from friends and stuff, or opening acts of concerts you went to. Those were the big ways to find music. Now the way everyone finds music is TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Reels, just shorts, just scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. That's how people discover music. And also to a lesser extent, well, I shouldn't say to a lesser extent, but also playlists like Spotify playlists and Apple or wherever else you listen to music. Um, Playlists will throw in songs and you can discover music that way. But TikTok, God, what a different thing than MTV. Because on MTV, you couldn't scroll. You had to watch. If there was a song that sucked, and it was 4 minutes, 5 minutes, you had to sit through it and watch it. You had no choice. You can't scroll away. You can walk away, but you're not going to do that. You're going to sit through the crappy song and wait for the next one and pray to God that it's a good one. But with TikTok, yeah, this song sucks, scroll. This song sucks, scroll. This song sucks, scroll. Ooh, I like this song. Like you can just blip, 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 blip. And it's nice in the sense that you can flip past songs that you don't like. But on the other hand, it really, God, it really, like, how do you like? There are songs that I've heard, and like the first minute of the song, I'm like, I'm not really into this, and then some kick-ass chorus kicks in, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this song. So with TikTok, you'd never get the chance to find that chorus because if you just scroll and you hear the first 10 seconds, you're like, yeah, this sucks, and you just keep going. You're gonna miss that awesome chorus that you'd be humming for the next 3 weeks. So that's one thing that sucks about TikTok compared to MTV is that you were forced to listen to entire songs, and songs are meant to be listened to as entire songs, or at least they used to be. In fact, they used to be intended a lot of times to be listened to in the context of a larger album, sometimes like a concept album or something like that, or at least an EP with a theme. But now songs not only are songs not listened to in their entirety, or excuse me, not only are albums not listened to in their entirety, now songs aren't even listened to. Now it's all about creating that 5 to 10 second ear candy snippet that you can just replay over and over and over again on TikTok, or earworm, as they say, that gets into people's ear. A stupid fucking term, but yeah, anyway, an earworm. And that's what it's all about. It's all about the hook, the earworm, all of that. Just getting people's attention, because attention spans are getting shorter and shorter by the day. They're really in short supply now, and you got to grab people's attention. Which also that it's changed the nature of song structures. Like a lot of songs now don't have intros. They just go right into the first verse because they know that people on TikTok are just going to scroll past a long intro. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't one of them. So songs that could get started really slow, I'd, go on to the next one. It is what it is. It's how our attention economy is structured nowadays, and I don't really see it getting too much better. But Fortunately, there are still people that like long form content, like these videos. There is a huge demand for it, and I think it's only going to go up because the little TikTok, YouTube reels, shorts, reels, that short attention span thing is it's not good. It's just going to get worse. People are going to start gravitating towards other things like authenticity for one, and I think people are going to start getting more into longer concept albums. I think there's going to be a real resurgence of human music once the whole AI fad kind of blows over. Now, another huge advantage, of course, of like YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, all these places now, is that if I think of a song, oh, I remember that song that I lost my virginity to 30 years ago, Song 2 by Blur. I want to hear it right now. If this was 1997, when that happened, I would just have to turn on the radio and wait for it to come on, hoping that it would. And it just happened to that fateful night. But now, if I wanted to hear that song, I can go on YouTube, I can go on Spotify, I can go on TikTok, I can go on anywhere online, Google, and just type it in, and boom, I'll be listening to it in a few seconds. 2 seconds, I'll be listening to song two. So that's cool. I'm gonna make a whole other video about that, about finding music and having to go to Boston and into the city and go to Providence, Rhode Island, go to New York City, looking for albums, digging through bins. But I'll make that in another video. But this one's about how TikTok is changing the way we find music compared to MTV, and it's a whole different world. It really is. It's such a different world than it was just 30 years ago. The way with electronics, the way everything goes with music, and it's fascinating. But TikTok is a great place for both musicians and for music lovers to find music, because music videos and MTV, like the only videos you saw around there were videos by major label artists, essentially, because it costs money to get a record made, to make it a song made, a single, and it costs money to make a video. You need all kinds of connections and stuff. So the only videos you saw on MTV were generally videos of bands and artists that were on labels. Now, TikTok, what I love about this is this opens it up to everybody. Every schmuck with a guitar can write songs, and put them on TikTok or Spotify or YouTube. And I love that. I love just having total access to all the independent artists and stuff out there. That's something that could only have dreamed of. I mean, back in the MTVs in the '90s, if you wanted to find independent artists, you had to go to local shows, and you ask word of mouth or whatever. Or maybe your local record store had like a local music artist section or something you could dig through. But for the most part, I mean, but now it's like I could go on TikTok right now and just or YouTube and just I could find 10 brand new artists I've never heard of that all have less than like 100 monthly Spotify listeners that I think are amazing. That never would have been possible in the old days. So there are a lot of positive things about music discovery now. There's a lot of negatives, the attention span stuff, the AI needs slop, just the abundance of crap. Just because every schmuck can make music doesn't mean every schmuck should make music. But there's a lot of terrible music out there. I make a little bit of it myself, not gonna lie. But there's a lot more than just what I'm putting out. Trust me. And but if you wade through it, if you just scroll, 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 every once in a while you find those gems, and that's what makes it all worth it. And that's why I honestly, as much as nostalgic as I am for the old days of watching, Headbangers Ball, staying up till like 2 in the morning or whatever, and or listening to Kennedy talk on Alternative Nation, as much as I miss those good old days, I wouldn't trade them for now, because now I literally have every song that's ever been recorded at my fingertips at all times. I can discover any indie artist, some kid in Oklahoma with a guitar, some girl with a piano in Alberta, Canada, that I never in a million years would have found otherwise. I can discover them like that. And that's why it's a great time to be a music lover, and it's a great time to be a musician. I mean, it's really there's a lot of musicians trying to put their music out there. It's really oversaturated. But if you've got really, really good music, if you've got really good personality, you can just put your music, write a song, put it on TikTok, and boom, you can blow up beyond your wild imagination. That could never, ever, ever, ever would have been possible in the old days. You had to have connections. You had to get signed to a label. You had to jump through all these hoops. You had to sign these contracts. You had to do all this crap. Now, all you got to do is write good songs and put them out into the world. And I love that. I love that so much. And I'm hoping that someday I write a song good enough and I put it out into the world that people actually like it and it gets a lot of views. But until then, I'll just keep writing my crappy little songs that get almost no views, and I'll be happy doing it. But anyway, I'm starting to get off the rails, which means it's time to wrap it up. But long story short, MTV was great back in the day, but TikTok is superior in so many different ways that you really should appreciate what you have because it is pretty cool, and none of it would have been available just a couple of decades ago. But anyway, till next time, I'm Ellis Michaels. Be well.